Well, I finished another one. Well, pair actually. There's the Revell 813 helicopter and the Tamiya standard Jeep. This is a tribute, or my tribute, to the TV show MASH and the movie, and all the characters that came and went who got the recognition they deserved in the credits of the films and show. I always felt, though, that two of the main characters that played a massive role, they were in probably just about every episode, was the H-13 in one variant or another, and the Jeep in one variant or another. So this is my tribute to them. The Jeep is a pretty straightforward build. There's some details under the hood that you'll never really see. The only thing I really added to it, other than a little dust and weathering, that you can see is I built the stretcher for the back. It's made from tissue paper and styrene rods. It even has the little braces on the back for the and the US stenciled on it. The helicopter itself, though, it got a lot of modifications. Everything from the stretchers on it, which had to be kind of filled and molded to make them round as opposed to square. The buckles that hold it in place that weren't on the kit. I saw a picture with a blanket on it, so I thought, well, that's really cool. I want to put the blanket on it. I did take some liberties, I should say, with the painting and decaling. The actual MASH helicopter itself didn't have the logo on the cabin area. It was actually on an additional metal plate set off to the side. It also had the single fuel tank on the back. It was the most common variant you saw, and the US emblem wasn't on the tail as it is in this kit. It was actually a standalone metal plate that they bolted on for the show in different locations. They tried to get it relatively close each time, but if you watch, you can see it's kind of moves around a bit. The real extensive modifications are actually in the bubble itself. This is my first painting of a figure, and I like the way it turned out. It looks really nice. But it's also, I added the seat belts to him, and I scratch built the seat belts also for the co-pilot seat, and to include all the appropriate buckles and leather protective areas. The headphones, boom mic, and wiring were all added. And the only other thing really I think I did to it was the air intake. It was just a flat piece of plastic meant to be painted black, and I looked through my stash of photo etch stuff and I found a perfectly fitting little brass screen, and it's like jumped out at me and says, put me here. So that's what I did. I hollowed out the background or intake, and then secured it to the outside. The orange panel underneath is a panel marker that you see occasionally in the films, or sometimes in historic photographs. The color is actually pretty correct. Back in the early 80s, mid 80s, I went to flight school, and we all carried panel markers in our uniforms. They were rolled up in our flight suit and tucked in a little pocket, and they were about that shade of orange. They were really bright neon orange for rescue purposes, but that's pretty close, I think, to the actual orange color as I recall it to be. The base is just a piece of plywood, plaster of Paris smoothed over the top of it, and the dirt is actually from my front yard mixed with a little pigment. I set it through several different size sifters until I got the smallest possible grains, and mixed it with a little Vallejo pigments to give it a bit of a brown color, because sand here in Florida has a tendency to get white, bleached out. Overall, I'm very happy with the results. It's going to look nice on my shelf with the other kits that I've built so far. And I hope you liked it. Thanks for watching.